Well, I'm so excited to talk to you. Really interested in learning more about Feng Shui and what that actually is and how we can apply it to our life. So, talk to me. Welcome, Angie, to the show, by the way.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to me about first what Feng Shui actually is, especially for people who may just think it's about like moving furniture around, which is kind of
Yeah.
like a little bit of what I thought.
Well, that's also true. So with everything, there's a superficial level,
Hmm.
and then I think with most things, when you go deeper, you learn much more. So both can be true at the same time. So it is about moving furniture around,
Okay.
but it can also be so much deeper. So Feng Shui is a practice that comes from Asia. And actually, most cultures have some form of Feng Shui, looking at their environment and
Hmm.
seeing the best way to situate yourself with the natural world,
Hmm.
or in our modern lives, like in a office building even, right?
Completely.
So Feng Shui translates to wind and water. So it looks at the natural elements around us and gives us guidance, ancient guidance on how to position ourselves in our lives. And I think the words wind and water lend a lot to the meaning of Feng Shui, because wind like is our breath,
Okay.
and water is like hydration. We really need those things to thrive. And for Feng Shui, for me, because I'm a meditation practitioner and a Buddhist practitioner, I've over the years really intertwined Feng Shui teachings with Buddhist teachings.
Mhm.
So I also have my own definition of Feng Shui as a mindfulness of space.
Mhm.
Just like you're talking about being at home and noticing the details that may be a slightly different or not different in
Mhm.
your environment, but noticing and being mindful of that, and also noticing how that affects you.
Mhm.
And you can notice that it is disruptive, it's harmful, it's helpful, it's peaceful, it's neutral, and all of that is included. But it's about taking the time to notice that we can have some say in our environment
Right,
and
right.
how that affects us inside.
Completely. I mean, it really does. Like, I don't wanna call my mom out, but I grew up in a house with a lot of stuff, like, stuff
Oh,
everywhere,
yeah.
okay? Sometimes it was messy. I mean, there were 5 of us kids, but she was just like a collector and had
Mhm.
things everywhere, and I think over the years, like, I've become a little bit of her, and I it's like I wanna take the beautiful parts of that and be a collector and appreciate those things without letting them take over my house, and I feel like I sort of have. So it's interesting for me because it's more than just like a physical thing, it's a total spiritual thing too, and thinking about our parents and how they raised us and the environments that we were in and how that shaped us,
Mhm.
and what we bring into our new world. So now I'm in this process of like decluttering because I've gone to a point where it's like the stuff around me is just making me anxious. Like I've always been sort of a messy person. And all of a sudden something clicked. I feel like this year and I like can't have mess around. So for someone who's just starting out wanting to bring some of this into their space,
Mhm.
what would you tell me to do?
Well, I think where you've already started is amazing. Is one, acknowledge that what has maybe been helpful and soothing in the past is no longer soothing for you, is maybe disruptive.
Yeah.
And then taking small steps and also acknowledging that maybe it comes from your family, maybe it comes from things that you're accustomed to
Mhm.
and things that you've been conditioned to think is normal,
Mhm.
and then to take action steps. And so from a practical sense, I would tell people to approach it with gentleness and kindness, and then
Mhm.
start really simple with like low-hanging fruit.
Okay.
Like, what's like the easiest thing to let go of? What makes it hard for you to let go of something? And to also, like, when I work with people one-on-one or with my students, I actually look at their home and
Yeah.
see where in their home certain things are accumulating. Like, where, like, maybe is there a particular place in your home that you find even more problematic?
Yes, there are specific spots that become little landing areas for piles. It's like things that don't really have a home. And Timmy's always like, my husband's always like, everything has a home, but not everything has a home.
Mhm.
And I don't always put everything away. So yeah, there's like a spot on the dining room where there's always stuff, and then a spot on the kitchen counter where there's always stuff. And like, granted, I do want to talk about rearranging furniture and stuff, but I'm assuming that stuff around is part of the feng shui as well, right?
It is. Well, there's Feng Shui is not the same as professional organizing or decluttering. At the same time, of course, things that accumulate in a space have some affect the chi, the life force energy of the space. So you can't ignore it.
Right.
So what I look at more is like, why is it accumulating? And instead of judging the accumulation, assisting the person to see why. So for instance, you mentioned like there's a spot on the dining room table. So in feng shui, the dining room table represents where you gather with your family, friends, entertain. So it's your community. So it could indicate maybe there's some parts of your community or something involved with like how you connect with your community where there's a little bit of things that are stuck or some stagnation, or where maybe you don't know why there's no movement or things that you don't want.
Yeah,
are showing
sometimes
up
I
there.
think keeping these piles or keeping the house messy in general is like a defense mechanism over I'm like feeding into not wanting to invite anybody over.
Yes.
Like, if we're really being honest here, like I'm always one of those people that's like, if people are coming over, I'm like, I got to get the house in order, but the house is not always in order. And I think part of this is my subconscious and being like, I'm just gonna keep a messy house, and then I don't really have to invite people over.
Which is actually, well, is that bad?
It seems bad.
It seems bad because we've been taught that, oh, you should be a very welcoming person and always invite people over to your house. But it's totally okay to have your home as a place for you, because in feng shui, your home is your most private space. Like the bedroom is the most private space in your home. But you know, like if I came over, you don't have to let people in, and there's degrees of where you let people in. Like you let your mailman into the front door, or the delivery guy to the front door, but they don't go past like a certain spot. So sometimes I think it's the universe and your non-conscious mind telling you that now is a time not to be inviting people over, that it's more healthy for you to work on whatever's happening with your life. But like, but I think it's okay. But if you want it to change, then you can start moving things around, like especially like when stuff accumulates on your desk.
Yeah.
Sometimes it means like you are stuck at work or you're stuck in your career. Like every morning I clear my desk to kind of have like to clear my mind, to start fresh.
Yeah.
And unless I'm not feeling it, then I don't even get around to doing that. And then I feel stuck and groggy all day in terms of my work.
I feel like my desk has gotten it's not super messy, but it's too messy to the point where I don't want to work. So then I went into the dining room today instead of just sitting there and cleaning it up for 5 minutes, which would have made me feel great. Like, why does sometimes our subconscious brain go to these like easy outs instead of actually dealing with the root of the problem?
Well, I think I look at it as there's a wisdom there that's indicating something. So maybe by not going to your desk, there was something about the universe wanted to tell you, I need to reach out. I need a bigger space, first of all. So your desk is probably smaller than your dining room table.
It's very small.
So there's something within you that needed more room, more space, maybe more openness, also a clear place to begin. Maybe you are wearing 2 hats. So I see a lot of people that have like 2 desks. Like they have their career and then they have what they want to do. And they literally have 2 desks in their house, 2 chairs, 2 desks, wearing 2 hats. And at some point, most people kind of come to a head with that because those are starting to conflict. But these are physical indications that there's something to pay attention to. So for you, like maybe you need a bigger desk.
Right.
Maybe there's something that's wanting to be birthed within you that requires a lot of space, also requires community, requires openness and a wider perspective too, because I don't know how your desk is set up, but maybe yours, like Are you facing a
I'm
wall
I'm
or?
completely up against a wall, and it's like this big.
Oh, it's
I'm
not big
very
enough.
confined. No, it's not big enough. And it was one of those things where I had built like an office situation for myself during COVID,
Mhm.
like so many of us did.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really want to be in that area anymore. So I moved it into more of like a communal area. And I just am
Oh.
this kind of person that's like constantly just moving, and I am paying attention to it, but
Mhm.
I'm I lack the I lack the strength in terms of consistency, in terms of like setting a plan for myself to clean up my desk, work at my desk for a certain amount of time, and then
Mhm.
get up. You know, I'm just very like loosey goosey, anyways.
But that makes sense because you think about how you just described your desk. It's too small.
Hmm.
You said confined.
Hmm.
You're facing a wall. So facing a wall is and from a feng shui perspective doesn't allow you to move forward. You're
Okay.
stopped. You're like you're working in front of a wall. You can only see so far ahead, like maybe like 2 feet ahead.
Uh huh.
Whereas if you were positioned like you are in this room that we're in this podcast studio, like where
Yeah,
you could see the door, you have a wider view, that gives you a lot of perspective. It gives you a
completely.
lot of space. So the way that your desk is set up now, of course you don't want to be there because it's like like when we were kids, they're like stand in the corner, look at the
It's
wall.
literally like a dark corner.
Hmm.
And for me, I was like, oh, I'll just put it out of the way and keep it out of the way of everybody. But that's not healthy for my work life. Ultima Replenisher Tea Freshers are my latest afternoon refresher and pick me up, and have been helping me big time in drinking more water. It's honestly something that has always been difficult for me. I just went over to my sister's to do like a little style session, and she's obsessed with them too. And she made little refreshment drinks for us. Ultima Replenisher Tea Freshers are electrolyte powerhouses with absolutely no sugar. If you're looking for a fresh new way to hydrate this summer, you've got to try the new Tea Freshers from Ultima Replenisher. Ultima Replenisher is a daily electrolyte drink mix with 6 key electrolytes and absolutely none of the junk. Zero sugar, zero calories, zero carbs. It's made with plant-based flavors and colors. It's gluten-free, non-GMO, vegan, and keto-friendly. Ultima is truly healthy everyday hydration. Their newest variety pack just dropped in time for summer with 4 super delicious fruit and iced tea fusions. There's strawberry acai green tea, lemon black tea, peach green tea, and then there's mango dragon fruit green tea. Ultima's tea freshers help you stay replenished every day while enjoying those fruity iced tea flavors you love without any of the junky stuff. Get 20% off your first order and free shipping at ultimareplenisher.com with code WITHWIT20. Again, that's code WITHWIT20 for 20% off your first order and free shipping at ultimareplenisher.com. Sunny is officially done with first grade and is out for summer, and I just keep dreaming about potential vacations. I honestly can't help myself. I just want to travel. Aruba is one place I just cannot stop thinking about. It's calling me in the best way, and I love the idea of bringing Sunny and making it one of those unforgettable family trips that lives in our memories forever. Of course, Aruba has the postcard perfect beaches. Big shout out to Eagle Beach for just being named TripAdvisor's best beach of 2025, which is saying a lot when you think about how many stunning beaches there are out there. But Aruba is more than just a pretty place. What really makes Aruba stand out is the heart of it, the people. The locals have such a deep love and respect for the island, and they invite the visitors to do the same. There's a sense of balance and connection that really feels rare. And that's why they say when you love Aruba, it loves you back. Aruba is the perfect place to nourish your spirit, bring your family closer, and help everyone unplug from all the chaos. I picture Sunny running around on the beach, spending quality time with Timmy, falling asleep on the beach, listening to my audiobook, and just feeling happy and peaceful. I know it will be so special when we eventually get there. So if you've been scrolling through travel inspo or daydreaming about your next big escape, maybe this is your sign, and we all need to go to Aruba. Plan your next trip at aruba.com. So talk to me. It's so interesting how you said like this spot would be like the prime spot when we walked in here. Like, talk to me about setting up a room and knowing where to like put in the furniture and where to center things.
So in Feng Shui, there's a concept called the commanding position. And I sometimes call it like, where would the mafia boss sit in the restaurant?
Yeah.
So it governs the best way to position yourself to be able to see all your opportunities and to have the best flow of chi, that life force energy, which is really a lot of the intention of Feng Shui. Like, how do you create a situation where you're inviting chi, so life force energy? That's like what they use in acupuncture. Like, they look at the chi flow and any chi blockages in your body. So we look at the chi blockages in your home. So staring at a wall, you're not inviting anything in. And so the commanding position basically means that you want to set yourself up so your back is against a wall. That's like a mountain behind you, support.
Okay.
And you're protected. And then you can see the door without directly being in line with the door. And this is most important for your bed, your primary bed, your primary desk, and actually your stove where you cook. So your bed represents you, because that's where you rest, you rejuvenate, you're in a non-conscious state, you're in a yin state, and really taking care of yourself, you're resting, rejuvenating. And then your desk represents, or where you work, your workspace represents your career or your path in life. And then your stove represents your resources and how you nourish yourself. Because when you're cooking, you're actually transforming food. You're creating alchemy to create something that nourishes you. And we all know like health is so important, because if you don't have your health, you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So with the mafia boss situation, it's basically like, also, I don't know if I've been on lots, like in the past when I was single, dates with guys that would only sit with their back against the wall. They didn't want to sit like the worst.
They wanted
seat.
to see out and be able to see what was going on.
Right.
Now that is rude to me. Like that's a red flag.
So they should let you have that seat.
I think, I don't know. I think that, well, so that you're looking at him at the wall. I guess there's like a whole power play here too. It's based on dynamic.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah.
Completely.
See,
like
you
were
understand
saying.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you get to a spot and you think about, where are they going to feel the most comfortable, or where am I going to feel the most comfortable, and what do I want to get out of this conversation? Like if I were going on a date with someone, I would give them the good seat, like the seat with the view.
With the view, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would take the one facing the wall.
Yes.
But yes.
So that's part of the commanding position. So the person who can see the view has more, let's say, control of the situation. But that doesn't mean that the person who's like you actually had also control, because you chose the seat that you chose to give them that other seat, meaning that you also chose to trust that person to make sure you're okay. Because when you're in a position when you can't see the door and your back is facing the door and the back of your neck is exposed, it actually puts you in an elevated fight or flight response, because you can't see the door. But I also trust you.
Right.
You're going to tell me if something's
happening behind. Yes.
Yeah. Because not everyone can be facing the door. So you
Right.
choose. But like, say in an office, a CEO would not be the person at the door, the admin person dealing with all the little things. They would be in the far back with the window corner office overlooking everything that's happening.
Right.
So that's a commanding position.
Okay, got it. You talked about how to position your desk, but any other tips to attract abundance or to style your desk?
So a lot of people set up their desk to look out the window. And if you're looking to improve your career and your path in life and increase your success, it's not great to be looking out the window, because what that means is that your chi, your energy goes straight out the window and doesn't stay with the work. So it's easy to get distracted.
So not the window or the wall.
No. It's okay to have the window to the side. And it's okay if it's not your primary desk, if it's like just a writing desk or something. Because think about it. Most people set up their desk at the window because they tell me, I want to be able to look out at, the
Yeah, to see the
birds.
view. It's
Right.
completely that makes sense to me. I also think the lighting situation could be bad, the screen with the window and whatnot, but
Oh, that's a big thing too with Zoom
yeah.
now. So a lot of people give their excuses, but I just tell them feng shui wise, it's better to be able to see what's coming towards you. And I
Mhm.
also remind people, especially like entrepreneurs, and I would rather be focused at my desk and do really well at what I'm working on at my desk and then just go out.
Completely, and enjoy the
Yes,
outside.
instead of
Right.
like
Just longing for the
wasting the whole
outside.
day, like being wanting to be outside, working, not being completely focused. So I think that's a huge thing. And then also, you can also look at that Bagua mandala that I talked
Mhm,
about at your
mhm.
desk. So one popular area for wealth and abundance, that purple
Yeah.
area that I talked about. So if you're sitting at your desk and say it's a rectangle,
Mhm.
most people have a rectangular desk. It would be the far left corner
Okay.
is the abundance area of your desk.
Okay.
And people can look at like what's happening there. Like is that where you pile up all your bills? Is that where you have it
That is
spacious?
that is where I pile up all my bills.
Oh.
Like, I have a little thing on the far left corner that has bills and envelopes and things, and then, this little bin on the left side, which I don't even need a bin on top of my desk, but that holds, like, more bills, my journal, just, like, paper things that I'll need for the week, but yeah. No, it's completely packed with stuff that takes away my abundance.
So so there's another area a better area you could put it in. So if you do that 3 by 3 grid, the center of the right side. So not
Yeah.
the top corner, not the farthest corner, not the nearest corner. That area is related to completion. So you
Oh.
could put the bills there. So you kind of like, as you pay them and you can put them there. Or you can also put like a project. Like, say you have a project that you really need to get done.
Mhm.
You can put something there that represents that project. A simple way to kind of activate that wealth area of your desk is you can put like something purple, like an amethyst, a
Mhm.
crystal,
Mhm.
or you can put a bell there and ring it. It brings in metal element to bring in more opportunities you could kind of visualize when you ring the bell that these concentric circles of the vibrations are emanating out from you
Mhm.
with the intention that you're letting people know about the services or whatever you're offering,
Mhm.
that you meet the right people
Completely.
that want what you have to offer, want what you're selling or what you're offering the world,
Mhm.
and that they can find you. That's one of the biggest things. Maybe you have like a really wonderful gift that you can offer the world, but if no one knows about it, it's hard to find success.
Completely. So
Yeah.
it's just putting something physical there that
Mhm.
opens that space up for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I feel like all these tips for the desk, even though for people that go into offices may not be able to decide where their desks are, like these are all really great things to incorporate into their desks. So, what are some small things in the home that maybe have a big energetic impact? Like I was thinking about the TV in my bedroom
Okay.
as maybe a small thing.
Mhm.
That's maybe a big thing. But tell me what you
Yeah.
think.
Well, in general, there's a lot of viewpoints on the TV in the bedroom.
Mhm.
But I think it's okay in general as long as you don't have sleep issues.
We
Just
don't. We
okay.
sleep so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't have sleep issues, but if someone has sleep issues,
Mhm.
it can be considered a lot of fire energy because
Mhm.
it's electronics
Mhm.
and it also is very bright, right? And it has that blue bright light like the sun.
Mhm.
So it's very stimulating and it's very visual. So if you have sleep trouble, then it's a lot of fire element. It's almost like having a picture of the sun in your room. So, because sleep time
Needs
is
to be
really moon,
protected.
yes, and
Yes.
it's moon time. It's dark. You want darkness. You want it quiet, which is the opposite of a TV.
Mhm.
But that said, like there's always couples where
Mhm.
maybe one partner wants the TV and one doesn't. So you could do workarounds. I mean, you can design like something that encloses a TV.
Mhm.
There's always like those frame TVs now. There's a
Mhm.
clear TV. There's so
Mhm.
many options. So you could compromise. And I think it's okay. But
Mhm.
if you do have a lot of sleep problems, like for a listener, I would say maybe
Try
try
taking it
taking
out.
it out. Just like they say, like take your devices out of the bedroom too.
Right.
Same.
Right.
TV's like a device.
Right. Completely.
Hmm.
Any other small things in a home that may have a big energetic impact that like we could go home and change right now?
Plants. Yeah,
Plants.
well, this is a fake plant.
I know. I know. I
That's
know.
okay.
They're on the hunt for a good real one. But real plants.
Yes,
Yeah.
real plants. Feng Shui really is about this connection between the natural world with our interior environment. So
Mhm.
we look at plants as a way to bring in life force energy and to uplift the chi in a space. So that's when that's really very popular.
Yeah.
People really like to bring in plants. So like, I mean, I love a
Fiddly
fiddle leaf
fig.
fig. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except these are not great for newbies because they're temperamental.
I literally just moved one today and I definitely aggravated it and it's upset with me, but it's finicky. It's finicky. I
Yeah, they're
had to look
definitely
up on
finicky.
ChatGPT how to take care of it.
Yeah, definitely finicky. So for a newbie, I would do something really easy like a pothos.
Okay.
But there's a lot that you learn from because you have plants. There's so much you learn. Like it's finicky. It's another living thing.
Completely.
So
That you
there's a
don't
great
have
challenge.
control over. But it
Exactly.
feels nice. It feels like another way of taking care of something and it gives you like a little bit more purpose in like a very, very small way, but still makes a difference.
Hmm.
Um, okay. Do you believe certain colors or shapes can affect how we feel in our homes?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. So Feng Shui looks at colors, shapes, and textures and materials to change the energy of a space. That works in tandem with your own
Taste.
personal
Yeah.
taste and your
Yeah.
culture and also like style as well. But in general, things like red is supposed to be from a feng shui perspective, red is the most auspicious and the most lucky color.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that
Like
you
paint
need
your whole room
no.
red.
No.
No. That doesn't feel
No.
feng shui to me.
No, but because also actually red is really stimulating.
Mm-hmm.
So you only need a little, and it doesn't have to even be visible. But it could be very small. Like
Little
it could
pops
be
of it, or like
little
red
pops.
roses, or like a
Exactly.
red candle. Yeah.
Exactly. Or it could also be like red. The chi of red can be expressed through like of the flame of a candle as well.
Interesting.
But different colors and shapes and textures and materials relate to different areas of this feng shui mandala that we have.
Okay.
And also to the 5 elements. So the 5 elements are earth, water, wood, fire, and metal. And
Okay.
so fire is red, and wood is green and blue, and water is black, and metal is white, and earth is like yellow and earthy colors. So those evoke different qualities.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What color is your apartment?
My apartment is pretty white.
Yeah.
What about your house?
So all of our walls are white.
Yeah,
I feel
same.
like it was, again, me kind of rebelling against my childhood because it was so crazy all over. Like it was
Like
sponge
70s
paint.
wallpaper.
And
Oh,
also
sponge
my
paint?
bedroom, my childhood bedroom that I got to redecorate when I was 13 was hot pink and leopard. So it was just like, it was sensory overload. So
Your mom decorated your
my
childhood bedroom?
she helped me with it. She was
Okay.
like, "You're 13, like you can get a redo." And I was like,
Okay.
"Oh, fun." And I wanted hot pink and leopard,
Okay.
so we did it.
Very stimulating.
Very stimulating, very. So now I'm like, I need all the walls to be white, and I'm like, we have a white couch, white bed, like wood tones. Everything is very creamy and neutral because that's what feels like the most calming to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also like neutral tones as
Yeah.
well, and I think they're calming. But we also look in feng shui. We look at your elemental quality. So some people feel more comfortable with other colors that are supportive. So I already know your birth year. So and you're actually the same year as my sister.
Okay. So you know a lot about that year.
Yeah. So I know that you're also you are like you and I are both metal element. So white is actually metal element. So we like to be very precise. We like to have everything kind of beautiful and streamlined, and
executing it is one thing, but I would like it to be like that.
Well, there's also other elements at play because not everyone's just one element. We have all of the 5 elements, but I tend to like things that are more metal element
Mhm, mhm,
and cleaner lines, things that are much more simple and just neutral tones. Because
mhm.
also neutral tones like beige and like tan and things like that. And you said like warm, I think you said
Y
wood
Yeah, wood
tones.
colors, yeah, yeah,
So wood
like
tones are
oaks.
earth element,
Uh-huh.
and just like the soil. And earth actually in the 5 element system creates, supports, and nourishes metal elements. It's very nourishing for you to
Mhm.
have those colors around.
The whites and the
The
woods.
white
That
and the wood. The
that
wood
totally makes
especially
sense.
feeds you.
Yeah, and I need pops of bold color, like, in our dining room, we just put in, like, a really deep purple, rug,
Mhm.
but then everything around it is, like, cream and white and wood.
And that works really well. Like purple is in the Bagua map. So in Feng Shui, we also use this grid where there's 8 life areas around a center. So it's like a mandala.
Oh,
And
interesting.
one of them relates to wealth, abundance, but also like your self-confidence, your self-esteem, how wealthy you feel in terms of like a in I always say for Californians, like think about like your do you have a fruit tree at home?
We do, we have a lemon
Yes,
tree.
the lemon
Yeah.
tree. I know. I'm like, "Mom,
We're
can
so
I have some
lucky.
lemons?"
Can you
Uh,
ship me some lemons?
yeah. Well, I always bring some home. So she's
Yeah,
like, "I'm gonna go to
cute.
the neighbor and get a lemon for us." But you know that with a fruit tree, it gives so much fruit
Mhm,
that it's like you can't give it away fast enough,
mhm,
right? Because if you hold
completely.
on to it, it's just gonna
Go
go
bad.
bad.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of energy this purple color has. It's like having so much. You're so abundant that you wanna give it away. So
Mhm.
it connects to generosity
That's
and
really nice.
selflessness and being helpful and supportive to other people. So anyways,
No,
that's
that's
the
really
purple
nice.
color.
I didn't think about that when I was purchasing the rug, but that's so
Well,
not that's it's really nice to be able to have that kind of a guide when staring at a blank space.
I think so, and it can go both ways. You can look at it intentionally, like you can bring in a color or something or a symbol with an intention, or you could also reflect on something that happened. So maybe you could think, "Oh, why was I attracted to that purple rug? Maybe it meant that at this time in your life you wanted to invite some energy in." And sometimes
Mhm.
it means nothing.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
completely. Like so much of life. Um, okay. We talked about feng shui tips for the workspace. Is there a certain room or spot in the home where people often overlook important details?
Yes. And I think you might be surprised.
Tell
It's
me.
usually the bedroom, your own
Okay.
bedroom, because
Okay.
most people get really concerned about the spaces that everyone else sees,
Mhm.
like the dining room and the living room. Your own space gets overlooked. I'm also an architect, so I work with a lot of people in their spaces, and
Mhm.
that's the place where people spend the least amount of money sometimes because they spend the most money in the kitchen, the
Of course,
bathroom, and then they
right.
want the living room to be nice because folks are coming in, and then the bedroom can be a mess.
Which is such a shame because we work so hard and it's like we're the ones that should be enjoying this and not putting
Exactly.
ourselves last. I'm guilty of this too. Like when I'm cleaning up the house before people come over, I'm usually just like shoving
Me
everything
too.
into my bedroom
Yeah.
and then I'll like hopefully eventually get to the bedroom, but the bedroom is usually last when it comes to cleaning up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's often overlooked in a general way, but I think also people forget to look and also similar inside of closets.
Yeah.
So in feng shui, your closet generally represents it's somewhere that you store something,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So it means maybe something is concealed or something that you're hiding or something that you're putting away. Like sometimes people just shove things into the closet
Mhm.
or at the top of the closet or in boxes and don't look at them for years.
Yeah.
And even if it's something really positive, like maybe it's some family mementos, it's easy to forget about them. And like you said, like sometimes we want to pay respect or to honor or remember those things. So it's easy to just overlook stuff in closets, but also just from a not a organizing perspective.
Yeah.
If we look at that feng shui mandala on
Uh-huh.
your home, so you can just do it on your bedroom because most people have a square bedroom and you would just stand in your door of your bedroom or stand in the door of any room like this room looking in and imagine it's divided into a tic-tac-toe. And so the two popular areas are the love corner. So the far right corner, so over here would be the love area or the relationship area, or the nurture area. And the far left corner is that purple area again. That's wealth and abundance. So that's where Eve is sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eve, you got the abundance spot.
Yeah.
I love it. It makes me want to, I mean, obviously it makes me want to do this, but I'm looking at my bedroom and I'm feeling like my bedroom is pretty good, but I'm curious. My bedroom looks against a wall of mirrors. That's my closet. How do we feel about a wall of mirrors as the reflection to my bed?
That's a good question. So a lot of people ask me about mirrors in beds.
Yes.
Because there's actually a lot of different schools of Feng Shui. Just like I say, like, it's just like there's lots of different bread recipes.
Yeah.
So one's not better than the other, but they're different. But they all have the same components, like flour, water. So there's the 5 elements. There's the bagua, qi, yin and yang are all part of all the Feng Shui schools.
But there's little nuances.
There's nuances.
People, yeah.
So in the classical schools, they tend to say no mirrors in the bedroom at all. But in the school that I practice, which is called BTB, mirrors in the bedroom are typically fine. In fact, we suggest if your bed cannot be put in that commanding position, we would set up a mirror so we could see the door, and that would be a correction. Or maybe we would do like a mirror to enhance something. The only thing I would say is if someone's done a lot of internet research or they've studied Feng Shui from another school and they feel really paranoid about mirrors in the bedroom, then I would say, it's already like super negative for you. So don't do it.
Don't do it. You know that it doesn't feel right. So don't do it. That's so interesting.
But it's okay for you. The only thing I would say is that one thing that mirrors do is it doubles.
Yeah.
Expands.
That's the issue, is that and this is a personal thing, so I don't need to get too into it. But yeah, the mirror goes across the whole wall of that room. So it reflects the whole room. So when the room is really tidy and clean, it looks great. And when it's messy, it looks like, oh my God.
So it's doubling the mess and the clutter.
Yes.
For instance, you wouldn't want to set up a mirror, so you double your bills.
Right.
But you could put a mirror. Like I said, the stove represents your wealth and finances and your resources and how you nourish yourself. If someone really wants to work on wealth, they can set up a mirror so it mirrors their burners, because the more burners, more wealth, because you have the more opportunity to nourish yourself and more fire element.
Oh, wow.
So you could set up a mirror so it reflects your burners. Like you could do it, like, for instance, underneath the hood or something, like strategically like position a mirror so it mirrors the burners to double your burners.
Any mistakes you think we're all usually making on a daily basis with our homes?
One big mistake that people are making is assuming that something is bad feng shui and getting rid of it from their home. For instance, like a spiky plant. So I have people ask me, like, can I have this plant, this like aloe, and it was gifted from my grandmother and I really love it, or some kind of really meaningful story, and they've read somewhere. So basically reading something on your like internet rabbit hole chase, and then starting to second guess yourself and really worry that it's bad. But because you love that like dried flower bouquet, so that dried flowers are also not good feng shui, yeah. Or like the dried like wedding bouquet.
She like in our kitchen, I'm not joking, Angie, like she had bouquets of dried flowers, all different kinds of dried flowers, like 15 different ones that were there for probably 20
Dust
years.
collectors.
Yeah. So just
like potpourri.
Yes. And like, so she definitely did not take this course.
Yeah. So actually that's one too. Also, like dried flowers are considered not great feng shui, but kind of taking that as a general thing without looking deeper into it. So in reality, if it's your wedding bouquet or something, or if it has a lot of meaning, of course it's going to imbue positive energy for you. But it does mean that, like, maybe if you're looking for a relationship and you notice you have a lot of these
spiky plants,
these spiky
or dead flowers,
dead dusty flowers and spiky plants in your relationship corner, spiky plants are kind of giving stay away vibes to, like,
really. But what if they've never even been in your home?
What do
You
you
know, like the I know this is all about an energy
Uh-huh.
thing and that the energy you're
Yeah.
giving off and whatnot, but like, how does a spiky plant in someone's home affect them meeting someone? I mean,
Well,
I know,
no,
yeah.
this is a good question. So, that's a good question. So, Feng Shui looks at the energy of the space, and some of the areas of that mandala look to our position in relationship to the door. So the door is what we call the mouth of chi, where the energy comes in. So like I said, remember, like the admin is near the front, or you wouldn't let a stranger would stay outside of your front door. You wouldn't want to bring them all the way to the back of your house.
Right.
Because that is the most private space. So the further back you get, the more deeper you get into and you get closer to you.
Right. More intimate. Yeah.
So also on that Bagua map, the relationship area is that pink area, the far right. So it's the far right back area. Also, wealth and abundance is the far left back area. So it means that that energy that lies deeper within you, deeper within your home, deeper beyond the surface level is tells you something about how you interact with the world. So it's not a science, obviously, but that's what we believe.
Right.
That there can be indications of how you treat your space and how things show up in your space
and how you interact with nature.
Right. Can tell you something about how you interact with the world. So it doesn't mean that you're not meeting anyone, but it may indicate, and may not, but it may indicate that you give super
thorny vibes
to people. Here's an actually
Spiky
easier one to
vibes.
figure out.
Yeah.
Like if you go to someone's house and they have like huge like cactus in front of their door and kind of blocking the door that you actually like it snags on your clothes. What would you think?
Well, it's so funny you say this because my favorite house in all of Los Angeles is this old Spanish house with a row of cactus lining the front. It's not obviously through the entry, but it's like, I now want to send you the address to this house because it's so amazing, but it's so interesting that I'm attracted to that. It's like this kind of Gothic Spanish looking house. And like I said, just this rows of cactus in front. It's definitely giving off vibes of like, don't come in, don't mess with me.
Right. But it can also mean like there's a public
this is my
part
safe
of me.
Space.
Yeah, and this is my safe space.
Yes.
You don't have to wear everything on your sleeve. Not everyone has to see everything. And especially like, for instance, people who are really well known and are seen a lot, like whatever, like Tom Cruise. Nobody knows where he lives. It's the same kind of thing. It's like you can make it harder to find your front door.
Right.
You can make it more painful to go to your front door. And all of that gives you non-conscious clues, energetic, visual, spatial, material clues that's not a welcoming place.
I want a little bit of both. Like, I don't want to seem like the thorny, like stay out person, but I do think that it makes a lot of sense when I think about keeping my home just like my own space and liking the privacy of it and it being like a little bit of a bubble.
I think it's actually really good to have that balance of here's like we're meeting at a podcast studio. We're not meeting at your house.
Right.
So there can be a little bit of a boundary, I think, because especially now, the boundaries are kind of blurred between work-life balance or your public and your private life, right? And this also relates to the earth element because earth element is about boundaries and stability and self-care. And earth nourishes you. So I think in a lot of ways you want to be very accommodating towards people, but you also, like on the flip side of that, also need to give yourself some boundaries or else you can't be the person that's welcoming and warm to everyone because you also need to give yourself that a lot. And that can't, always happen with people in your space all the time.
Yeah. That's why I'm trying to listen to myself. And when some of those more like not negative thoughts, but thoughts that don't seem friendly pop up, instead of trying to beat myself up and be like, you're a bad person for not wanting to invite anybody over to your house, or not you're bad, but you're not a welcoming person.
Mhm.
I'll say like, no, there can be space for both. Like
Yes.
you can be a welcoming person when your space feels like it's ready for people, and that's okay. So yeah, it's just creating that space around that.
Yeah, you could even have, like, maybe you have, like, a cactus plant that you, like, put out, like, sometimes, or maybe it's, like, during, like, 9 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Yeah.
You have the
It's like,
cactus out
don't
there.
mess with
It's
me.
like office hours are open, office hours are closed,
Yeah.
or, different parts of your life, but we all go through phases, and I think that it's expressed in your spaces, and so the relationship one is a little bit harder to explain, but I think, most people understand, like, the front of the house,
Yes.
like the entry, like a locked door.
Mhm.
It gives you the message, "Don't come in."
Mhm.
Whereas an easy to open or spacious door, or a big door, like,
Mhm.
right? So a large door in welcomes many people. A
Mhm.
small door only welcomes one person, or
Mhm.
maybe you have to even go. If you had to go sideways into the door, you'd be like, "Wow, I knew, like, really,
This
like,
isn't really made
isn't
for
it's not
people.
accommodating."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna switch into some fun rapid fire that goes along with everything. Okay, so one item in your home you can't live without.
It's my bed. I mean, I
Yeah,
just love going home to my bed all the time. It's so supportive. Like, when I'm sick, I just
want to
wanna,
be in your
yeah,
bed.
so I think
Yeah,
it's my bed.
yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like for me, keeping the bed clean and made and nothing on it is very important.
Mhm.
Timmy always says like the first. It's funny. When I say Timmy always says, it sounds like it's my dad, but like he's had to teach me so many things because my mom was the way that she is. But it's like making your bed in the morning, like as the first thing that you do, and I feel like it gives you some purpose and it sets you up for success and makes your, environment more like amenable to everything that you need to do.
Absolutely.
Morning ritual that grounds you.
Oh, definitely getting up and journaling for a little bit,
Mhm.
and 20 minutes of meditation is really important to have, like, a really easeful start to the day, because it's
Mhm.
really easy for me to just pop up and, like, immediately just start doing work or answering
Completely.
other people. So
Yeah.
that's the way I maintain my boundaries,
Mhm.
is I need to create a really easeful morning, and ideally it starts with sitting and having some tea with some, like, morning pages,
Mhm.
and then I always write 2 things I've done that morning, 2 things that I will do, and I make it not work related,
Mhm.
'cause I'm a workaholic,
Yeah.
and then one thing I'm grateful for, and then sitting and meditating for 20 minutes at least.
That's really nice. So 2 things that you want to accomplish, work related, 2 things that you want to accomplish, non-work related.
No, no, 2 things that I've
Sorry.
done already. So
Okay.
sometimes it's like I brushed my teeth and made tea.
Yeah, but putting that down makes you feel
Yes.
like you did
Yeah, 2
something.
things I've
Yeah.
done, because my
Okay.
my Chinese medicine teacher just suggested it, and I've just been following this. So
Yeah.
2 things that I've done, and 2 things that I will do that day, or that I want to do that day, but not work related.
Okay, not work
Not
related.
work related,
Because
because
you
I
have
have
your
a
separate
separate
work
yeah.
to-do list. Exactly. Okay, a design mistake that makes you cringe.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely dried flowers.
Dried
Oh, and sorry,
plastic
plastic
plants.
plants.
Mhm.
That makes me cringe, because
They're back on trend though, in a weird
they
way.
are definitely dried flowers and paper
Yes,
flowers.
yes.
But the reason why, and my friend, one of my friends, just her daughter gave her those expensive preserved
In
roses.
a box,
Yeah.
I can't stand
Yeah, that
those.
makes me cringe.
I know, I really don't like those, but my aunt did a really nice thing. After my father-in-law passed away, she took a flower from his funeral and got it, like, professionally.
Embalmed.
Yes. I'm like, I don't know what the word for this
I don't
is.
know.
Like, professionally
Fortified.
stuffed?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? I mean, that's so
Well, so
random.
that's similar to the wedding bouquet. Like, I
Mhm.
think if there's some real meaning to it
It's
you've
okay
already
to keep.
it's okay to keep. But I
Right.
think, because I do a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
well, I also
Like, you're an
teach.
architect, you're an interior designer, you're
Well, I'm
a
an
mindfulness.
architect, Feng Shui
Teacher.
teacher,
Yeah.
and I teach Ikebana too, which is
Yes.
Japanese flower arranging.
Oh, wow. Oh my
And
God.
but all of that is under, except for the architecture, it's all under this mindful Buddhist teaching, Dharma teaching path,
Mhm. Mhm.
or umbrella. But what I see a lot, because I just started teaching Ikebana, my a lot of students say I like they want plastic flowers, and it just like breaks my heart,
Yeah.
because the reason why is because they don't want it to ever, they don't want to do it again. They want it
Yeah.
to last forever. And I think there's some, like, the beauty of flowers or real plants is that they're living things that
Mhm.
you have to take care of.
Mhm.
And well, also flowers, the beauty of flowers that is that they're impermanent.
Mhm.
And
I love that about flowers. See, my sister hates flowers. She's like, "Never bring me fresh flowers because they just die in my house." And I'm like, "Okay, fine." For me, I love my flowers. Like, I'll trim them and change their
mhm.
water and, like, try to keep them as fresh as possible. And I'm also totally okay when they die and, like, happy to throw them out. But then I
Yeah.
will make sure, like, each week when I go to the grocery store, I always like to have fresh flowers in the
Me
house.
too.
Yeah.
Like, it's so that makes me cringe a little bit,
Yeah, I
like
understand
plastic
that.
flowers.
Yeah.
And it also makes me really sad because, like, I feel like it's a little bit like a Grinch, like, to say I don't like flowers and to want plastic flowers,
No,
because
it's
again,
I
it defeats the
completely get it.
purpose.
Right, completely. Okay, go-to plant for energy or beauty.
Mm. I really love the pothos plant, which is really easy to care for. I still have a pothos that someone gave me as a housewarming present when I first moved to New
Oh
York.
my
And so
god.
it's moved with me. I mean, I haven't moved that much. I only moved like 3 times or 4 times, but it's moved with me, and I still have the mother plants.
Oh, that's amazing. I can't picture what a pothos plant looks like, but I'll
It's like
look it
it
up.
looks like a philodendron. It's like a heart-shaped leaf, and it's like, vining, and
Okay.
it's really like a very pedestrian plant, but I think that
Oh, I know exactly
yeah,
what plant you're talking
yeah, and
about. As
it's
soon as you said pedestrian-looking plant, it clicked in my brain.
and it's not like it's not the flashiest plant. It's not the
Mhm.
most stylish plant, but you don't almost everyone has one,
Mhm.
and you can't kill it, and it propagates well. And I think there's something important about learning to share, and it grows so much, just like with the lemon tree,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
you need to trim it, you need to give it away. It doesn't die on you. So
Completely.
there's a lot of teachings.
Yeah, and it grows with you, like, it's seen so many phases of your life.
Exactly. And
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be the super flashy like fiddle
completely.
leaf.
Completely. Okay, what's your favorite natural material?
My favorite natural material is wood.
Yeah.
Definitely. I love wood.
Yeah,
Probably
same.
because what I mentioned earlier, that
That
like
we gravitate towards that,
yes, it's
our
very
ears.
nurturing.
Yeah.
And I love like oak and hinoki, and I
Yeah.
design with those a lot.
Yeah, same. What's one message you hope listeners remember about the power of their space?
I think I want the listeners to remember that a space can be a place that supports you, nourishes you, and can also offer a lot of teachings. Like, you can reflect back on your childhood home and see how it supported you, how it may have supported your parents and not supported you. And then
Mhm.
you can
Mhm.
use that information to inform how you want to shape your environment and shape your life, and give you guidance that you can find that own wisdom within you by looking at your own space and looking at the spaces around you, and see
Mhm.
like which spaces you feel good in, which spaces make you feel drained, and
Mhm.
start to empower yourself to make shifts in your home so it's a place that's welcoming you.
Completely, and they can be small changes too. Like, I
Mhm.
remember when I was younger and I would feel like the energy in my room was stale, I would just ask my mom to help me move around the furniture a little bit, and it felt like a brand new room, you know? So, like, I know there's the diagrams in the book where there's definitely specific places where furniture should go, but I
Mhm.
think probably for me, what I would do going home, what I wanna do now is really, like, sit in each space and write down, like, how it makes me feel and how each corner makes me feel and where I would kinda wanna move things.
Mhm.
Um, and just be more intentional about it than just, like, placing things because you think it looks good. It's, like, really being intentional. Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously everybody needs to check out Mindful Living, A Guide to the Everyday Magic of Feng Shui. Tell everybody where they can find you and your book and learn more about everything that you're teaching.
Sure. So I wrote this book with my business partner, Laura Morris, and we teach Feng Shui. We teach a Feng Shui certification program. And you can find out about it at mindfuldesignschool.com. And we also have a Feng Shui podcast called Holistic Spaces.
I love that.
And our book,
Awesome.
Mindful Living, is available wherever books are sold.
Yeah, I need to go through this book. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been such a pleasure. I learned so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.